It's a country without an army, it holds 5% of the world's biodiversity, and from its highest peaks you can see both the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans. These are just 3 of the fascinating facts that you're going to learn about Costa Rica. Today we're talking about Costa Rica, a country known for its incredible natural beauty and biodiversity, as well as its stability and successful development. Costa Rica is located in Central America, which is the southernmost region of the North American continent. It shares land borders with Nicaragua and Panama, and it's bordered by the Pacific Ocean to the southwest and the Caribbean Sea to the northwest. Costa Rica has an area of 51,100 square kilometers, making it around the same size as Slovakia. It's really not a big country in terms of its physical size. The land of Costa Rica has been inhabited by indigenous peoples for at least the last 10,000 years. More recently, in the 16th century, Spanish explorers and settlers began to arrive. The name Costa Rica literally means rich coast, but the Spanish never found the gold and silver they were looking for. This lack of resources resulted in the colony being small and marginal. In 1821, the Viceroyalty of New Spain, which included both Mexico and Central America, declared independence from Spain. Central America briefly became part of the Mexican Empire in 1821, but split from it in 1823 and formed the Federal Republic of Central America. This republic was short-lived and fell apart by 1838 after fighting between supporters and opponents of the republic, making Costa Rica fully independent. After that, it experienced attempted American incursions, periods of democracy and dictatorship. After a brief civil war in 1948, Costa Rica drafted a new democratic constitution and abolished its army, though it does have a police force that's responsible for defense. From 1948 until the time this video was released in 2022, the country has had 19 consecutive democratic elections. Costa Rica has a fairly small population of just over 5 million people, which is around the same size as New Zealand or Ireland. According to the 2011 census, a little old I know, 83.6% of the population was either of European background or mixed European indigenous background, and 2.4% of the population was of fully indigenous background. 1.1% of the population was of African background, and 6.7% was of mixed African and indigenous background. They descend from Afro-Caribbean migrants, some of whom came from Jamaica. As a result, an English-based Creole language that developed from Jamaican patois is spoken by some people in the Limon province on the Caribbean coast. The official language is Spanish, which is spoken by nearly everyone. Because of close economic ties to the United States and the importance of the tourism industry, English is widely spoken as well. 6 indigenous languages are also spoken by their respective communities. While small in terms of the number of speakers, the indigenous languages are protected by the Costa Rican Constitution. While most people naturally think of a lush, pristine rainforest when they think of Costa Rica, the country is actually quite diverse. Costa Rica can be divided into several geographic regions: the Caribbean coast, the Central Highlands, the Pacific coast, and the North Central Plains. Though this is just one general way of dividing it, and each region can be broken down further. Politically, Costa Rica is divided into 7 provinces. Limon province is where you'll find the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica, which does fit the bill of a lush tropical paradise. Here the land is flat, with dense forests, mangrove swamps, and many white sandy beaches, which look like they'd be great for relaxing. But that doesn't mean it's always sunny. Some areas of the Caribbean coast get over 5,000 millimeters of rain per year. That's more than twice as much as Vancouver, which is known as a city where it rains a lot. Distinct from the rest of the country, Limon is predominantly populated by people of African or mixed African heritage, as a result of the migration from other parts of the Caribbean that I mentioned before. Historically, it was quite isolated. In fact, until 1948, its residents of African ancestry were not citizens and needed special permission to leave the province. A result of this isolation is a distinct Limonese culture within Costa Rica. Moving inland from the Caribbean coast, the central part of Costa Rica to the west of Limon is dominated by a series of highlands and mountain ranges. The 2 most important mountain ranges are the Central Mountain Range, or the Cordillera Central, or the Cordillera de Talamanca. In between these 2 ranges are a series of fertile valleys where most of Costa Rica's population lives. The climate here is still warm, but not as hot as the Caribbean coast because of the higher elevation. The The Central Highlands also get less rainfall, and they see a distinct dry season from December to April, as well as a wet season from May to November. In the Central Mountain Range lies Costa Rica's highest volcano, Irasu, and in the Talamanca Range lies Costa Rica's highest peak, Mount Chiripo, 3,821 meters above sea level. On a particularly clear day, you can see both the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean from either peak. When I say you can see the Atlantic Ocean, I mean you can see the Caribbean Sea, which is part of the Atlantic Ocean. The provinces of Cartago and San Jose occupy much of the Central Highland region. There's evidence of indigenous settlement in Cartago dating back to 7,000 to 10,000 BCE, specifically in the Turrialba Valley. Costa Rica's largest and most famous archaeological site is found in the Turrialba Valley, Guayabo National Monument. It comprises the ruins of an ancient settlement of 10,000 people, dating back to the year 1000 BCE. The capital city of Cartago province is also called Cartago. It was the first official Spanish settlement in Costa Rica, and the original capital of the country until 1823. As a result, some of Costa Rica's most important historical and religious sites can be found there, such as the Basilica of Our Lady of the Angels. This church is dedicated to a small statue of the Virgin Mary holding baby Jesus, which was found at the location of the church. The church was originally built at a different location in the year 1639, but it was destroyed several times by earthquakes. People thought that was a sign that the church should be built at the location where the statue was found, and it was in 1924. And since then, it hasn't been destroyed by any earthquakes. So, does that mean they were right? The province of San Jose is home to a third of Costa Rica's population. The provincial capital, also called San Jose, is located in the Central Valley at an altitude of over 1,000 meters. It's known by locals as Chepe and is a bustling metropolis and cultural center of the nation. Much of San Jose's core was built in the late 19th century, and the architecture is characteristic of this era, for example, the National Theater. But the city also contains a modern business district and several large urban parks, such as La Sabana. It's not only the capital, but also the largest city in Costa Rica, with a population of around 350,000 in the city itself and around 2.2 million in the metropolitan area. On the other side of the Talamanca mountain range lies the Pacific coastal region, much of which is located in the province of Punta Arenas, Costa Rica's largest province, though it may not appear that way at first glance because of its unusual elongated shape. In Punta Arenas, you can find national parks like Manuel Antonio National Park, a nature reserve and marine sanctuary with pristine white sand beaches. There are also black sand beaches like Yaco Beach, which is known for its surfing. The climate along the Pacific changes as you go from north to south. The southern area is consistently rainy, more like the Caribbean coast. The central part has more pronounced wet and dry seasons, and the northern part is even drier. Guanacaste province in the north is by far the driest province of Costa Rica. Another mountain range, the Guanacaste Range, extends through this province and neighboring Alajuela province to the northwest towards the border with Nicaragua. The country's largest lake, Lake Arenal, is found in this mountain range and straddles the border between the two provinces. Just east of the lake in Alajuela province lies Arenal Volcano, one of the country's active volcanoes. It erupted intermittently from 1968 to 2010, but has been dormant since then, but it's still considered active and could begin erupting again sometime. Much of Alajuela lies in the north-central plains, an area rich in agriculture. This is also the case for the neighboring province of Heredia. The central mountain range runs through the south of both provinces, and the provincial capitals, Alajuela and Heredia, are located in the Central Valley and are part of the greater metropolitan area, which includes San Jose City. In fact, the Juan Santamaria International Airport, which serves San Jose, is actually located in Alajuela. So, from the plains to the mountains to the densely populated Central Valley, both provinces are quite diverse in terms of landscape, climate, and development. Economy. Historically, the economy of Costa Rica was based around small-scale farming and logging. In the late 19th century, large-scale coffee and banana cultivation began, and these were the most important industries during the 20th century. Today, Costa Rica has a more diverse economy with a large secondary and tertiary sector, in other words, services and manufacturing, both of which benefit from the country's stability and highly educated population. Of course, tourism is quite important to the economy of Costa Rica. On top of its many lovely beaches and stunning scenery, lots of people come to see the rich variety of wildlife in the country's national parks, which there are currently around 30 of. In these parks, you'll find 5% of the world's plant and animal species, despite Costa Rica occupying only 0.03% of the Earth's land area. This biodiversity is supported by a world-renowned system of conservation and forest management. Let's take a look at a couple of the country's national parks. Manuel Antonio National Park, which I mentioned a minute ago, is the smallest but most popular national park in Costa Rica. The reason for Manuel Antonio's popularity is the incredible biodiversity that can be found in such a small area. The park contains an impressive 184 bird species and 109 mammal species. This includes sloths, amazingly slow and sluggish tree-dwelling mammals. If you happen to be a human, I don't advocate behaving like a sloth, but if you're a non-human sloth, then do your thing. Of course, there are also animals offshore, like dolphins and migrating whales. The Corcovado Park on the Osa Peninsula is one of the most biodiverse places in the world. Basically, every species found in Costa Rica can be found here, including the 4 species of monkeys there, sloths, anteaters, tapirs, and jaguars. The Tortuguero National Park on the Caribbean coast is only reachable by boat or plane. It's known as a nesting site for 4 different species of sea turtle: green, hawksbill, loggerhead, and leatherback turtles. Costa Rica's commitment to the environment and sustainability extends beyond forest and species management. The country is 99% powered by renewable energy and aims to be a carbon-neutral country before any other country. The image of a lush tropical paradise that most people have in mind when they think about Costa Rica is to a large extent true, but it does offer a diverse range of environments and experiences that you might not expect. And there's much to admire about the country beyond its natural beauty, including the fact that it's known as the safest country in Central America. Now, over to you. Is there anything you find impressive about Costa Rica? And if you're from Costa Rica, what's something you would like people from the rest of the world to know about your country? Would you like to see videos from this channel before anyone else? Become a member of this channel and you'll see videos 1 week early, as well as ad-free, without any ads or promos. Click the join button next to the subscribe button for more information. By the way, you won't see the join button if you're using the iOS app on an iPhone or iPad, but if you open the link in the description in your web browser, you will see the join button. Or you can sign up using your computer or Android. And then once you sign up, your membership benefits will be accessible on any device. And to everyone, thank you for watching and have a nice day.